Hey guys, how's it going? This is Obi here with Lionstrong Fitness Global, and I just want to say thank you for joining me in another video today. So guys, we're going to talk about important subject, as all of them are, obviously, and this is how to maintain low body fat year-round. And I want to make this video, guys, because people oftentimes think it's not possible. They think that, unless you're using performance-enhancing drugs, unless you're, using crazy supplements, you can't do it. And that's not the case. As you guys already know, I'm a big proponent of training in a certain way. And that certain way is my Lionstrong Fusion training method. And I do have my Lionstrong Fusion training series, which is in the description on this page. If you want to check that out on my website is lionstrongfitness.net. But when it comes to training, guys, I always say that that's the most important thing because it basically sets the stage for everything else. Of course, nutrition, diet, your lifestyle is important, but the reason why I'm such a big fan on training is because it is what gives your body the stimulus that it needs. In other words, it provides the programming, and your body gets that natural incentive to want to enact on other things, that I just discussed. So when it comes to training, guys, it's important that you focus on, number one, building strength. Okay, strength training. Now, strength training, like I always talk about, isn't lifting heavy weight. It's basically doing movements that are functional, focusing on compound movements, high ROI exercises. And these consist of pressing movements, pulling movements, squats, lunges, anything that works multiple muscle groups and engages the core. Okay, because when you do those movements, your body's able to get more of that stimulus. Okay, and it's focused on just loading the joints. Okay, loading the body to resistance. So as you're picking those movements, which the main objective is to build strength. So guys, when I say strength building, strength building isn't necessarily lifting heavy weight. It's, of course, you want it to be challenging, but you want to pick movements that involve multiple muscle groups. That's what strength training means in all totality. Now, when it comes to building muscle, which is the hypertrophy and stimulating muscle tissue breakdown, this is what stimulates the metabolism, is building muscle. That requires you to have a mind-muscle connection, but most importantly, put those muscles under enough stress, enough load. Now, the best way to do it is by really utilizing time under tension, which I always talk about, which simply means that you want to put your muscles under a lot of stress, and the longer you can put them under stress and tension and load, they're more incentivized and have more of a tendency to want to grow in size in order to develop. That's why in my training series, I don't like to just do 3 sets of 10. I don't like to count my reps, to be honest. The key is to set a time. For me, is anything beyond a minute, and the goal is to do as many or as much work as possible in that time. Not necessarily meaning that you have to go all the way straight. If you're doing a bunch of bicep curls, you get to like 30 and you're like, oh, I gotta take a little break. It's okay, if I have 3 minutes, I wanna really compete with myself and see how many I can get, how many quality high intense reps I can get. That's the key. Okay, and when you train that way, you're pushing your body to failure. So when I say train the failure, an easy way to do that is by setting a time. When you set a time, you're not thinking about the reps or the rep count. You're just going until you can't. So that's what makes the training more interesting, because you're not always having to think about so many things. And in the process of doing that, in the process of picking these compound movements that prioritize and building strength, in the process of doing these longer time under tension sets, what happens is, because you're exerting yourself so much, your heart rate tends to increase. And because it tends to increase, is how you get that cardiovascular work. Remember, guys, cardio is just an antonym for heart. Okay, so cardio isn't necessarily going on a treadmill, doing these boring steady state activities in which I'm pretty sure if you can find a better way to do it, you do it. I would hope. Um, it's anything to get your heart rate up. Where I live, snows a lot in the winter, and a good cardio I like to do, um, which encompasses all those things. It allows me to build strength because the movement I'm doing is functional, and because I'm doing so much and I'm engaging all these muscle groups, and I'm doing it for as long as possible, really trying to push myself, the pace, the tempo in which I'm doing it, and it also builds endurance. That activity, guys, believe it or not, is shoveling snow. Shoveling snow. I mean, think about it. When you're shoveling snow, you got the shovel, and at least what I do is I don't just do this and do that. I'll dig in and throw it back. And it's an amazing workout, guys, if you haven't done it, because it engages your whole body, okay? Your whole body. And, I have a decent sized driveway. So when I'm shoveling snow, what I like to do is, like I just talked about, I'll get my phone and I'll get the app. So there's an app I use, it's called Round Timer. It's a great app, simple. You can set the time, the rest periods. It's like I believe it's like 15-second intervals. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'll set it for like 10 minutes, let's say, because that's like the max like time limit that it allows. Okay, and my goal, as soon as I hit that button, my goal is to try to complete that driveway in 10 minutes. Now, the fastest time that I've been able to complete the driveway was about 13 minutes, and I'm talking about like deep snow. So yeah, I mean that's just an example of what I'm talking about. You want to do stuff like that on a consistent basis, right? Now let's talk about frequency. How often? Guys, ideally, I'm not saying it's possible, but you want to do training like this, things that encompass all three of the things we talked about on a daily basis. Now, some people probably hear like, oh, every day, like that seems like a lot. Well, it's a lot, but if you structure it the right way, it's very doable. And what I mean by that is, I'm a big fan of keeping my workouts under 30 minutes, okay? I find that the shorter the workout is, meaning that the more intensity you can put in the workout. And I always take into consideration the days that I don't really feel like doing it. I'm feeling lazy that day. The idea that it's only 30 minutes, it's more palatable versus if it was any time longer. And also too, you can also scale it. When I say under 30 minutes, it can be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as the intensity is there, as long as you're incentivizing the strength, the muscle hypertrophy and the endurance. You're getting the cardiovascular endurance. And by the way, guys, how high the heart rate should be? The heart rate should be close to or above 150 beats a minute, okay? When you do that, that's when you put your body in that position to where you want it to burn fat, because at that point, when you combine all three, you're stimulating the metabolism. So, so when you're keeping your workout under a certain amount of time, you can give more intensity, and the more intense you can train, people don't realize you're gonna have better results that way long term. Okay, I mean, you can do the 2-hour workouts all you want to, but I prefer to stick to things that I can sustain long term. And if I can sustain it, I can be consistent with it, and I can do it more frequently. Okay, so guys, that's just basically how you do it. Of course, there's more nuance to it, but I just think that if people really prioritize and training properly, and of course, guys, I'm not neglecting like the diet and all that stuff, what to consume. I can talk about that, but from my professional experience, I notice that people oftentimes don't struggle, or at least as much as they think they do, when it comes to their nutrition. Okay, I do a lot of consultations, people that buy my programs, and also people that I coach. When I talk to them and I ask them, so what do you think your issue is? And they say, oh, I think it's my diet. Well, clearly they're clueless, because every time I would ask them about their diet, they're basically eating what society tells them they're supposed to eat to be in shape. But in my opinion, they're not eating enough, because if they were training the way that they were supposed to be training, what I'm talking about, whether it's men or women, once they start training with me or doing my programs, they start to notice that their appetite increases. And the reason why your appetite increases is because of all the training you're doing. Not just any training, but the resistance-based training and the capacity in which we talked about. You'll start to notice almost immediately the change in appetite. That's usually a big sign that it's working, or your body's starting to reverse engineer itself. But yeah, I mean, training's number one, guys. I'm gonna keep harping on it. It's because I just think that there's always that one thing that allows you to do other things. You know, like you can't eat properly, or at least you don't feel as, you know, mentally motivated or as driven or as focused to eat as well if you're not training. You know, your body naturally tells you. I've had many people I've worked with where, you know, I will set up their program so where they can have a cheat item, whether it be a donut or something of that sort. They want to have some type of delicacy. And the thing is, like, on the most challenging workout day, that's when I would typically give them the permission to consume that particular food. But it's funny to you know, always to my surprise, even though I program it, they don't do it most times, because there's something about when you start training, something about when you're consistent with your regimens, you're training the failure, you're doing all those things. People start to see that, they start seeing results pretty quickly, whether it be energy levels, how you look. The results come pretty quick, guys. I'm telling you, if you do what you're supposed to do, or do what I tell you to do, whether you get my programs, whether you you know, sign up for my coaching. When people always work with me or do my stuff, they see results quickly. It's because we are doing things that you're not used to doing. Now, the movements aren't unfamiliar. It's just the training methodologies, the mindset behind it. That's why it works. And like I said before, it's sustainable. Okay, so when people start to see results, they just don't want to have that stuff anymore, which further increases their progress. So that's why I always say, like, training is number one, guys, and without that, nothing else matters. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching my video. Again, you guys can be anywhere else on YouTube watching this video, or excuse me, watching any other video, but those, you know, the very few that watch my videos, you guys want value, you guys want information, and you guys want no BS and something that you can apply the moment that you turn this video off. So I appreciate it, guys. I'll be back with more content. In the meantime, be sure to tune in by subscribing, and, you know, share this video to other people. You know, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section if you have any. And with that said, guys, be sure to check out my amazing website where you can find all my programs, as well as my elite performance coaching if you're interested in that. I always offer it. I work with people on a global scale. But for those who don't want to do that, my programs are amazing. I have levels. I have different levels 1 through 7. Plus, I have a bundle where you can, if you get the bundle, you get all 7 levels. It's amazing, guys. You'll never be bored or tired or, you know, frustrated. It's easy. As soon as you get the program, you know, it goes directly onto your phone as a download, and it's awesome, and it's great because it's easy to follow. You know, every program has demonstrations of every exercise and how to perform them. So all you have to do is just follow the instructions on it and just see the video so you can do them properly and just get to work, guys. You know, I just want to make things simple so you guys can get those results in the fastest way possible. That's what this is all about. Guys, again, thanks to you once again. See you on the next video. Have a great day. And also too, I am on TikTok as well. I do make a lot of videos where I talk about different subjects. It's Lionstrong Fitness Global, same thing as my channel. So anyway, guys, see you guys next time. Check me out.